Okay, this is messy. Okay, so I just watched a video by Greg Foreman. And he was talking about Eric July and his Rippaverse comics, and all the ongoing drama about that. And it's very fascinating on several levels, and it's getting more complicated. Now, once upon a time, there was a thing called Comicsgate, and I wasn't there for it, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but my understanding is a bunch of alt-right people, and this is just what I have surmised, I'm not accusing any individuals or any companies or comics or anyone by name, a bunch of alt-right people wanted to use comics to push their agenda, and they couldn't do that through mainstream comics because they were very diverse and representative, and they had very strict guidelines about what you can and can't say about other people, minorities, which is great. We need this protection. I'm a gay man. I understand how important representation and protections are. So they went a separate way. They said, well, we're going to crowdfund because we know we've got enough racists and bigots out there who will pay for their, content that is, aimed at them. So we should be able to fund this ourselves and do this independently, and we should be able to do this outside of the industry. So apparently a bunch of people tried to do that. I don't think it ultimately worked. I think it did fail, but some individuals have managed to set up some comics which seem to be going, and there seems to be a model for how to do this. But again, I haven't researched it because I'm not interested in these people, because why would I be? They're a bunch of racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic bigots. So why would I want to, read their art and look at their, follow their stories, and, I just... So apparently, allegedly, supposedly, this guy, and I'm not saying he is, apparently, allegedly, supposedly, he is Comicsgate, or descended from Comicsgate, or using Comicsgate as some sort of strategy to follow. So he was promoting his Rippaverse comic on subreddit, and I don't use Reddit, I really don't understand what it is. And he got banned because allegedly, supposedly, he was supporting Comicsgate, and he was supporting or associated with hate groups. So he wasn't allowed to promote his comic there. And now PayPal has turned around because he raised over $1 million to basically build a whole factory and little industry so he could create his comics and his comic universe independently from mainstream comics. And they basically have held the funds. He's got some money, he's got access to some money, so he could actually produce the comic now, but he can't produce as many as he wanted, or all the ones that were ordered or something. So he's not moving forward, even though he does have some money, because he doesn't have access to all his money, is what I've gathered. Now, my thought is, well, if you can get some comics out to get the first lot of people who donated, served and get a comic in their hand, you should do that, unless you've got something to hide from, like perhaps you're afraid that if you are doing that sort of comic, once it gets out, you won't be able to get the rest of that money to do the rest, and you'll only be able to get a small amount out. And maybe, I don't know, allegedly, supposedly, in my little theory, he sort of doesn't want to proceed until he actually has all the money, because then he won't get it once they see what he's trying to do. If he's trying to do something bad, and that's what they're trying to work out, my understanding is, they're trying to work out if he's actually doing what he's being accused of doing. And of course, it's just accusations, assumptions, as far as I know, no one's actually seen the finished comic. I think he said he sent one to PayPal, but I don't know, it was a PDF, so I don't know if he's got anything printed or anything that he's actually... I don't know if anyone's seen a Zero comic or first issue or something to show people what they're going to get. There's some artwork, it does look good. His character is black, and that's the interesting thing, because Comicsgate allegedly, supposedly, was a bunch of white people. But this guy, of course, is black, and he's got a black character. So there seems to be some attempt by some people, not him, of course, to use his blackness to get this goal of alt-right sort of extremist views and comic stories and stuff through into the hands of children, basically, by using somebody's race, for example, and I'm not using him specifically, I'm just talking in general. And I think that's really disturbing. I mean, sadly, the left are really bad at winning. The right are very aggressive, and they do not give up, and they're very good. They're very charismatic and very good at working their community and feeding their base, and they get stuff done, which is scary. That's why they get a lot of stuff done. Yeah, so there seems to be an attempt to use this guy's race, and they're saying, oh, well, they are racist because they're holding this guy's money. They're not letting this guy promote his comic. I'm like, that's nothing to do with his race. That's because of what they believe the content could be, or what they've seen the content is, or what they've been told the content is. They've got some idea that the content of this is dangerous and he's connected to and or promoting hate groups. And their argument, of course, is, well, he can't because he's black. And I'm like, well, yeah, he can. There's a lot of people of colour who get sucked in by the alt-right and get used as diversity shields, basically where somehow, and it's a fascinating sort of thing to observe, these people somehow believe that they are the exception to their race and it's all the others of their race that are the problem. And somehow when the alt-right finally get their way, and we go back to before civil war times, somehow they won't be hauled off in chains. It's just the others who will. It's this weird use of otherism. And you see these people being used as diversity shields all the time. And they're standing for the enemy and the people who want to destroy them ultimately in the end. And they will be discarded as soon as it's convenient for them, in my opinion. I'm not mentioning any groups or names here, of course. And it's just fascinating to watch. It's just fascinating to watch. And it's fascinating to see, like, for example, people, and I won't mention anyone by name, saying how they're being racist against this guy, they're discriminating against him, and they should just give him free will to do whatever he wants because he's black, because that's the left-wing playbook. They're always sort of saying, well, black people are discriminated against, we need to support them, so they should just support this guy regardless of what he could be doing or saying. So they're using their own, preaching against them, which is devious. But and that's the scary thing about the right. They are really devious and really smart and really persistent, and they are winning, and it's scary. So he'll probably get his money and make his comic, but I don't know if he's Comicsgate. I don't know if he's supporting hate groups, but that's what he's being accused of. And the idea of someone using comics to get transphobic, homophobic, misogynistic, racist stories out into the hands of children is very disturbing and something we really need to investigate. And as far as I know, they're investigating him while they hold the money. They haven't denied him the money on that level. It's not like they've actually come out and said, the end, the money's going back to the people. They're investigating, and he's just crying about it, which is kind of understandable unless he's doing what they're saying he's doing, but of course we don't know that. And I'm not accusing him of anything, of course, because I can't do that. And anything, I say that could imply that was just speculation or sarcasm or something. So, but it's fascinating. I want to see how this ends. I was watching it the last couple of weeks, and I thought, well, of course he's going to go far with this because he's a black guy with a black character, so it's very hard for people to accuse him of being racist and alt-right or Comicsgate. He's a good he's a good So I was watching that with a little bit of interest, but not enough to really talk about it. But then once the money got taken, then once I saw the way they were, attacking that using progressive, pro-left, diversity, representation, all that against them, I sort of thought that was just devious and curious. And I'm nearly up to 10 minutes. I need to stop talking. But yeah, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. What do you think? I've seen this guy's videos, and I clicked on them because he was black, and I want to see what a black person had to say about certain issues. And then I'm like, oh, he's... I didn't get the response that I thought, because some black people, not him, of course, just regurgitate the right-wing ideas and that, and somehow, like I said, they think that those won't apply to them, though. And it's fascinating to watch. So I didn't realise he was the guy creating the Rippaverse right away. It took me a while to work out, oh, that's that guy. Yeah, I've seen his videos. Okay. And I don't know if that's the guy I referred to as a diversity shield in a video a while ago or in a Twitter thing. It might have been someone else. But there are a bunch of diversity shields around who are being used by the alt-right and the white supremacists and they're very clever at how they do it. And these people seem to think that somehow they're the exception and they won't be dragged off in chains when, you know, the alt-right eventually takes us back to the pre-Civil War times, which seems to be the goal, in my opinion, my humble opinion, which of course, you know, I'm entitled to have. But yeah, oh, I'm over 10 minutes. I'm going to stop. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I think this is fascinating. It's been getting progressively fascinating and interesting over the last couple of weeks, and I do want to see how it ends, this specific case, this specific example, because it's an interesting test case on several levels of several different things. But I'm going to go. Bye.